is external validation? It's the need for approval or recognition from others to feel worthy or valuable. The follow-up to that is, why are we seeking it out so often? At the core, it's about feeling worthy and valuable. This need often stems from childhood experiences where praise or criticism from caregivers and others in our lives had such a significant impact on shaping our self-worth. As adults, we continue to seek that approval to reassure ourselves that we're enough. By the way, it's okay to enjoy compliments and seek advice from others. We all do it. The key is finding that balance where you're not dependent on the external validation for your own self-worth. It's incredibly freeing when you start valuing your opinion over the voice of others. Here's the thing. Constantly seeking validation from others can trap us in a cycle that's hard to break. I'd love to go through this cycle now and you see if any of these scenarios sound familiar. I know that they all have sounded familiar to me at some point or another. Step one of the cycle is a trigger event. It's a situation that makes us feel insecure or uneasy. For example, you're nervous before a presentation at work. You're anxious at a social event, or worrying about the tone of voice from an email or a text or a phone call. You might be feeling uneasy about a comment from a friend. Step two of the cycle is seeking approval. So we have this trigger event. Now we're looking for external validation to soothe that internal insecurity. So you might be asking your colleague or your boss for feedback. You might be seeking out sort of verbal affirmations from friends or family. Maybe you're posting on social media, checking for likes and comments and approval in that way. You might be asking multiple opinion for their opinion on a decision that only really you can make. That self-doubt voice is loud and clear here. Step three is temporary satisfaction. This is sort of what keeps us going. We get this brief boost in self-esteem when we have that approval from others. We feel that quick sense of accomplishment after receiving praise for a job well done. Maybe you experience that moment of happiness from a positive comment or thinking like, I got this, but you notice that it fades away quickly. Step four is it creates this dependent and anxious cycle. The more validation we want, and we're anxious when it's not received. For example, maybe you're feeling down or nervous when praise or likes are not offered. Maybe you're constantly checking your phone or your messages for notifications, spinning on conversations where you didn't get the validation you were hoping for. All of this puts us on edge psychologically, and we're often not really even aware consciously of why, just that we have that low grade, sometimes high grade level of discomfort and unease. Psychologically speaking, validation has several important positive functions. Number one, emotional regulation. When we feel understood, we're better able to process and manage our emotions. Number two, connection and belonging. Validation fulfills this primal need we all have to belong. It evolved from our early ancestors, from survival necessity to now a deep psychological need that we really need to carry out and have. A self-identity, having our experiences acknowledged, reinforces our sense of self and self-worth. Also, it's valuable for psychological growth. Self-validation in particular fosters resilience and personal growth. On the flip side, this need for validation can negatively affect our behavior and thought patterns. It can lead to low self-esteem, anxiety, difficulty making decisions, self-doubt, lack of self-trust. You might become someone who is a people pleaser, always striving to meet others' expectations so that you can get that approval from them. Another thing is perfectionism. We develop that as a way to secure approval. Your thinking might be distorted, like from a black and white, all or nothing perspective. Here's the good news is that there are ways to cope and manage this cycle. And it's all about learning to validate yourself and build that inner confidence. And that's why you're here. So lucky today. I like to think of self awareness as turning on a light in a dark room. You didn't know what was there before, but you're sort of tripping over some stuff. Now, suddenly you can see all the things you've been tripping over. And this causes a feeling in us like, turn off this, like, get out of here, run out of that room. But if you can stay, if you can bring curiosity and an open mind and an open heart to that exploration, there is so much waiting for you on the other side. The secret to breaking the cycle of external validation really lies in self awareness. It's all about understanding your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors without judgment. When you're aware, you can catch yourself when you notice that you're seeking validation, and then you get to make a conscious choice to do something different. But that awareness is the important prerequisite to any lasting change. For myself, when I first started practicing self awareness, for me, it's through a journaling practice. I was like, turn this light off, get me out of this room. What on earth? What on earth is going on up there? So that feeling, if it comes up for you, is completely normal. It's expected even. It can be really uncomfortable. It can be scary and unpleasant, especially when we've gone through so many years, often decades for many of us, of living an unaware life. So what I've learned and continue to learn so much about myself through this practice, I realized how often I was looking for approval from others. Often would come in the shape of my appearance, my work, parenting is a big one, friendships, relationships. And I noticed that I'd flip flop my opinion a lot, either to fit in or sometimes even to not stand out, depending on the situation. Another thing I noticed I did is I would feel so crushed and dwell on even one single negative comment. But creating that awareness and coupling it with the ability to sit with discomfort, it's such a powerful step toward lasting and important change. There are so many ways to build self awareness. And by the way, it's a journey with no end. I work on this every single day, and it has opened up possibility and insights that would not have been possible without this constant coming back to myself over and over. So you get to keep continuing, keep going. And you might try meditation. For me, I like to sit quietly. You could do the guided meditations. There's journaling practices, even asking for feedback. Sometimes one that I really like is reading good fiction. It gives you insight into how others perceive the world and challenges you to broaden your view as well. Mindfulness in general offers an effective approach to developing self-awareness. It's all about being present in the moment. It's like pressing pause on the constant chatter that's in your mind and just tapping in, tuning in to what's happening for you right now. The best part, you can practice it anywhere, anytime. It's free. You don't need any special equipment or clothes or anything. It's just for you. So what I'd love to do is try a simple mindfulness exercise together right now. So get comfortable. Take a deep breath. And focus on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. As you do this, thoughts will pop up. That's normal. Just notice them and gently bring your attention back to your breath. I like to say, I'm aware of my in-breath. I'm aware of my out-breath. That's it. You're practicing mindfulness. How did that feel? For some of you, it might have been relaxing. For others, it might be frustrating to notice how busy your mind is. Our worlds are designed to constantly draw your attention out. So we get to be really intentional about our practice to bring it back in. It's a lot of what we're doing here today, by the way. You might have been uncomfortable or bored, and you get to welcome all of that in as data. It doesn't need to be a judgment of your character. Your experience gets to be unique to you and exactly the way it's meant to be at this moment in time. The key is to just keep coming back. The key is to practice regularly. Let's now try an exercise called the I am practice. This one I love, and it really helped me uncover a lot of the beliefs I didn't even know I had about myself that were driving my need for external validation. So grab your journal, grab a pen, sit comfortably, maybe take a deep breath, right? Just get centered and grounded here. And go ahead and write I am at the top of your page. You're going to complete the sentence with whatever comes to mind. Just list out all the different things. Remember, this is for you. Don't censor yourself. You just let the thoughts flow. Don't worry about what it is. You might say things like, I am tired, I am excited, I am worried about my presentation tomorrow. Or maybe it's, I am trying my best. I'm failing. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a son, brother. Write down each I am statement as it comes to you. So go ahead, pause the video, and take a few minutes to do this. By the way, it doesn't work if you just sort of think about them or say them out loud. You really need to get them out of your brain and down on paper. Get a little space from them, and you can view them from a different perspective in that way. Go ahead and take a look at what you've written. What did you notice? Were your I am statements mostly positive or negative? Were they about current state, immediate things, or were they more long-held beliefs? Importantly, do they align with who you want to become in this life? This exercise can reveal a lot about how we see ourselves and where we might be seeking validation. Here's some extra questions for you to consider. So really, you're going to sit with this for a little while, like take a day, maybe overnight. Think about which I am statements surprised you the most and why. Did you notice any patterns or recurring themes in your statements? How do these statements make you feel about yourself? Can you identify any specific situations or people that trigger these particular thoughts? How do these beliefs influence your behavior and interactions with others? What would it look like to challenge or reframe some of those negative I am statements? I love a good reframe, so we will definitely work on that together later on in our course. Sit with what you've written for a while. Give yourself an opportunity to get curious about what you're believing about yourself and your place in this world. Wow, we've covered a lot today. We're all here in this together, supporting one another. I can't wait to see you in the next lesson where we'll build on these self-awareness skills. Until then, stay present, stay aware, and be kind to yourself. I'll see you next time.